All right, so with our lovely Miss W, you ready, cutie patootie? So we're gonna warm up with our usual little find its to get in the groove. She's so cute how she actually crunches her little snacks. Because today she's got some goldfish crackers, and she is technically going for the lamb treats you had brought. So maybe she was just bored with them at home, but she seems to like them here. You ready? Find it. So, but what I wanted to warm up with too was a little bit of some play with the flirt pole. Get some of that sort of on-off switch if we can with the gorgeous gal with some play. And then work a little bit with revving the engine, like putting the brakes on for her. You ready? Find it. She's too cute. So, but she and her new BFF, my brain melted, Leon, have been doing a really, really nice job together. Ready? Sit. She's like, I really would rather have you throw it. Yes, nice job, cutie. Shot hungry woman. You ready? Okay, we'll do another find it. So throughout some of these find its too, eventually we're gonna practice a little bit too with some of that orientation. Nice. So if she all of a sudden on her own comes and checks in with me, I'm gonna feed her for that, oh geez, chewing. I'm gonna feed her for that responsive coming back into my space. Ready, find it. So remember, this is just really helpful for a lot of youngsters or even adult dogs to create sort of fun with moving away and coming on back. Yes, nice job, cutie patootie. So if we're going to include some playtime, we do want to make sure that we kind of have like an on-off from our perspective too. So like with my guys, I would be like, are you ready? And then that normally means we're about to practice doing play or something. And then I'd say, go get it, means to go grab the item. And then we'd practice, grabbing and letting go. And that could be eventually your give, out, or drop it. Nice job. So you ready? Go get it. It's the greatest day of my life. Nice job. So I sometimes do want to make sure that the puppies do get the chance to catch the critter and have a good time catching it. So for some of them, if this is too much of an exciting game, you may want to try like what I did earlier with Mr. L, is work a handheld toy that you can hold and the puppy can play with you. Nice job checking in. So, but I do like to feed the beauties for taking breaks throughout the play, even on their own. So right there, yes. Because if your puppy cannot take a pause from play, how are they going to take a pause from something that's either overwhelming or too exciting? So we might even go into another little find it, get her up and wiggling, just to have it be a little bit of a break between the two. And then I might say, you ready? And then ready, go get it. She's like, I almost had it. So I want to make sure collision. She's a very good driver. So there can be moments, and this is where I like to, she's like, guys, it got on my head, is if you have a drunken sailor, she drives a lot the way my other boy Bill does, which involves not looking and just go. My other dog, Tux, will look to see where he's going, and he will make sure not to crash into you. She's like, I'm going to do loops. If your puppy tends to not be the greatest driver, I would highly recommend to keep the toy low and then make sure it's a swooshing motion away from you. And keep an eye as to what they're doing. Some of them, as you saw, she's not the greatest at knowing where to go, and that's normal. What are you gonna do? All the way around. She's like, you're gonna be trapped here with me forever. So if she gets a little stuck, ready? She's like, lady, that sounds really fun. I don't need to be trapped, but thank you. Ready? Find it. So if your puppy gets a little bit stuck, I do recommend to practice throughout the game. So, and there goes the train, so I don't know if she cares about it. But some of them get a little bit flustered by the sounds. But she's doing quite nice. So if they get really excited during play, you want to practice getting excited and then coming back, but don't have it be where they go to like level 10 of woohoo and then wonder why they can't come back. So I like to maybe go up to like 6 or 7, sometimes around 5 to 3, depends on the particular puppy. So we might go, you ready? And then we'll go get that bad boy again. She's like, where am I going? Not sure. So, but again, keep the toy low so that way she can make nice, big, fluid movement. If, for example, I made this go up into the sky, she's like, I'm going to sing to it. The problem there is if it goes up high, she might leap up to go grab it, and then she can hurt herself. So I noticed too that, again, I know she still is orbiting a bit. So again, no big deal. But sometimes as puppies get really jazzed, some of them, if they tend to have a little bit of a hard time with something, neurologically, they can sometimes do this orbiting. So she might be perfectly fine. It could just be something she does. But I know we've discussed a little bit with potentially looking into like a neurological reason behind some of these twirls. For some babes, it only really becomes visible when there's a lot of excitement or change. And then because of that arousal, it tends to kind of trigger a lot in their brain. And then it can create this orbiting when they're excited or a little bit unsure. So because she does sometimes do that nice little head tilt. And I know at one point you had mentioned she did have an ear infection, which does affect the way their inner ear works and then their equilibrium, where they can feel almost, oh, now I forgot what it's called, but where you're feeling like the world is kind of moving or spinning a bit. So you ready? Go get it. She's like, chewing and running is hard. Oh my gosh, did you get it? I want to make sure she chews her snack first. How's that going? Better? Nice. So, but the nice thing about a flirt pole is that you can get your puppy to chase, bite, grab, shake. This wouldn't be like a tuggy toy. This would be more like of a grabbing and snagging. Nice job. If you were to play tug, I'd recommend with something that doesn't have a bungee. So this one has some give in the rope area, because when they go to grab it and catch it, if it was a rope with no give, sometimes it does jostle them or jostle you. So I like the flirt poles that have a bungee rope versus just a non-wiggly type rope. Nice job, cutie. She's like, I'm ready. You gonna go get it? Ready? Go get it. She's like, no, I'm so tired. So if she's a little bit unsure, you might have it start moving. Good catch. So if she goes and catches it right away, perfectly fine. You might go, Winnie, ready? Try to get her attention. She's like, hold up, drop it. Yes, nice job. So we can practice letting go once we do catch it. We can do a little find it to create some distance. But if your puppy can't relinquish the item, it could be that we're going too quick into something that's way too exciting for them. And then that can be detrimental, because if we're always going to the point where they're really way too aroused and the thinking part of their brain has literally fallen out, you may be instead reinforcing hyperactivity or high arousal, but with very little capabilities for coming back from that. So, and there's some dogs that can very quickly go from high arousal into frustration or other behavioral moments. So I'd highly recommend play is great, but make sure that it seems like there's an ability to kind of speed it up, slow it down, and take pauses. That was really pretty. So maybe we'll give her a little breather. We'll do a little find it with her goldfish. She's like, you're taking my friend away. So, but the flirt pole could be another great venue for expending some puppy energy. Just make sure, like we've mentioned in the past, for some of them practicing. I think she got to play with one last time when it was just her and her BFF, Mr. Teddy. And then if you're working on it, I'd recommend an environment that has good traction or good footing. And then make sure that we're not lifting it up off the ground, especially for a pup that maybe doesn't always know how to use their body quite yet, because they will jump up high and maybe land funny. So that would be something you'd want to be careful about. So we're going to try working a little bit with maybe some weights for Miss W. So a weight, unlike the stays that we had been rocking a little bit earlier for the gentleman, weights are going to be hold back until I call you to me. So I'm going to tell her to wait. I'm going to give her a couple seconds right about there. If me taking steps back equaled she got up and it was too hard, I wouldn't add distance on top of the time frame and distractions. Winnie, come. Yes, very nice. She's like, that was delicious. So we're going to, again, get her back into a little sit. I'm going to tell her once more to wait. She's like, why aren't you throwing them at me? And then while she's waiting, I might, again, add a little bit of movement. If this was really hard, like where she were to get up, I'm going too fast for difficulty. So close. So if, let's say, sometimes they do make a mistake, remember that there's no harm in having your puppy try to figure out what the point of this game is. I'm going to tell her to wait once more. But this time I'm not going to add tons of distance. I might just sway from side to side. And then when I'm ready, Winnie, come. And then bring her into my space that way. Good job, cutie. She's like, I'm an alligator. She thought she was going to lose her snack. Oh, there's a crumb. So I'm going to do a little find it, get her up and moving again. So let's say, for example, maybe Miss W is having a really hard time being stationary and she just constantly getting up. Every time you've told her to sort of wait, she wiggles. You could be adding too much distance or distractions all at once. The other option too is maybe she's not in the groove yet. So one of the other options would be to do a find it. And then from there, do Winnie, come, and work that recall from the find it. So that way you're still getting some movement away from you. And then Winnie, come. Nice job, cutie. Ready, find it. like, oh my gosh, where'd that one go? Really far away. Oh, she found it. What a good girl. Winnie, come. What a good girl. Yes. Nice. Good job. So right here, little jackpot, a couple little teeny morsels for doing such a nice job heading back towards me for that recall. Oh my gosh, chewing is hard. You're doing a very nice job. So now let's say maybe, okay, since she had a few laps to do some running and some check-ins, maybe now she's feeling more ready to maybe sit still for a few seconds and work those weights. So we're gonna, she's like, where'd you throw it? Ready, Winnie? So I'm gonna get a little sit. I'm gonna now tell her to wait, and I'm gonna see if she can hold it for just a couple moments. She's like running around like a wild woman, makes her tired. Oh, we got our friends talking. Winnie, come. Yes. So there will be sometimes distractions from the building, be it the other classmates having their little breaks in the back room, or it could be also, for example, the noises that are around the building. As you guys know, there's the train tracks that are literally right next to me. There is also the Peterbilt truck workshop or whatever they're doing with their trucks over there. And then there's a lot of other businesses that have different machinery sometimes going on, even in the building. So it is technically a great way to start working through some distractions and working through our skills, but I know at times it can be a little bit confusing for them. So that's where we'll always change or tweak the criteria to make sure the puppies are being set up for success. So we're gonna get another little moment in front of me. I'm gonna get another little sit, tell her to wait, and have her just hold back for a few seconds. So if this was going really well, you could start to include, oh, she's like, that was too long. You could start to include longer periods or a little bit of distance work or maybe distractions, maybe your partner or a family member's around doing something off on the side. So again, wait, oh, I know it's hard. And then Winnie, come. But I would rather do littler setups that are more successful for her and that build in comfort and resilience than to keep asking for something and have it constantly not work out. So she has no idea what the heck we're talking about. So remember, think of your beauty as a furry little exchange student. She doesn't know what you want from her verbally, culturally, or physically. So helping her figure it out by assisting her by using food or toys or things that she finds motivational, and then pairing that behavior with that thing is a way for her to start feeling there's value to those weird things that we're asking. So while she's waiting, I might go again, Winnie, come. Nice. What a smart girl. She's like all the way around. So ready? We'll do another little sit. Tell her to wait. So tired. Winnie, come. Yes. So if she tends to go past you, you may want to get in the rhythm of also sometimes when you call her into you, oh my gosh, chew them, is feed her in front of you. Oh my gosh, poor baby. And make it where when she comes into your space, you don't have to ask for a sitting position. If let's say calling her and then you skip feeding her for the recall and you go right into a sit, then you're no longer reinforcing coming when called in the first place. You're skipping it and going right into a sitting position had more value. So I would recommend feed for each position or each skill as she's offering it. Later, you could finesse it and you work a few different things, and then intermittently she gets fed for some, but not all, and she still does a great job. She's like, lady, you keep wiggling your arms. Maybe you're gonna throw one. Ready? We'll do another, we'll find it. She's doing a real nice job. So, but maybe we'll give Miss W a little breather from some of these gorgeous weights and find it's with recall, and also doing some of that play. She did a really nice job. I'm gonna go find another couple little tidbits, and then we'll work a few more skills with this gorgeous woman, but she's doing a stellar job for day number 1. Yeah, so smart. Ready? Here you go. You can do a find it there. So, but very impressive work with Miss W today.